So I live on Capitol Hill. So the Capitol is my neighborhood, and I used to work in the House and Senate. So I know how things work, and I know I've worked with the Capitol Police before. So you just, as a local, you know this stuff. People from out of town obviously wouldn't know these things, but so you knew what looked out of place, what was right and what was wrong. So when we went, we almost didn't go to the rally because it was just one more thing. And I've been to lots of rallies, both uh, conservative America First type rallies, since the 70s when I was an anti-nuclear activist. So I've been to left and right events, and sometimes to infiltrate and disrupt the leftist groups on my own, not as a government asset. Um, but I had gotten training in the 1970s in high school by radicals who I was in the anti-nuclear movement because I didn't want nuclear plant in my state. It was just because for environmental reasons, and I'm a nature lover, so I love living out in the countryside. And so I was afraid of an accident like that. And when they brought me in as a high school kid, I volunteered, but then they're looking at kids who has leadership potential or who can organize or who's a communicator and who's just really, really stupid and can be induced to do dumb things. And because it's always the kids who get put in the front. And so I was trained in that, go up the marshes in a canoe with bolt cutters and spray paint and cut through the fence and spray slogans on the containment dome. That's what I was trained to do. I ended up didn't not doing it. But but I got to recognize through that training how you mobilize rallies, and if they go violent, there is a certain signals structure and a command structure that one follows when one knows what to look for. So it was back then from the 70s that was inherent. And then over the years, again, living in DC all this time, you see a whole lot of rallies. And on this one, this was just MAGA people from around the country. It was normal Americans from toddlers to really old people in wheelchairs. And they're all going and they're all happy, uh, you know, respectful, even though the city didn't put out porta potties. There was only one set of porta potties, tens or hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, but they weren't going in the bushes like the left wingers do. They weren't making messes of any kind. It was remarkable, and but we saw these groups of tight units go up, like sort of military tactical units, and they were wearing military type gear, most of them, and helmets and masks. And even either COVID masks or full face masks. And what MAGA person is going to walk around with a COVID mask on, right? So they didn't really fit in, and they're just using it to cover their faces. So